Welcome everyone. Today I want to introduce a couple of very important leaders in the hotel industry. I am talking about Brian Dunbar, Vice President and General Manager of Global Services for Lutron Electronics. Thank you. And Tim Majewski, General Manager for Development of Hospitality Products. Welcome once again to Japan.
Thank you.
I know that you have a very long love story with Japan, so tell me about that.
So I came to Japan for the first time in 1991.
Mm-hmm.
I also worked for Lutron. I'm closing in on 36 years at Lutron.
Okay.
But back in 1991, I worked in our procurement organization.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, we would come over and we would go to the electronic shows in Japan, Taiwan, Korea. And that was my first introduction to Japan over 30 years ago.
Okay.
So off and on over the last 30 years, I've come back in a variety of roles. Most recently with responsibility for global service and sales in East Asia.
Okay, welcome once again. And how about you, Tim?
So I've been at Lutron for 30 years. My first time in Japan, I believe, was in 2001 or 2002, not quite sure. It was with our founder of Lutron, Joel Spira. We were actually coming to go to the electronics show, like Brian mentioned, looking for new components and ideas. We were working on, we were visiting some LCD screen manufacturers, working on a new product development at the time. And I've been back several times since then, mostly in what we call a market research capacity or market development capacity for different products.
I strongly believe that this long history with Japan is what recently has put you in a top position within the 5 stars hotels category in Japan. Congratulations for that. It's really an amazing work done from overseas, your local team. Today I want to explore a few topics with you. Technology is evolving, it's changing very fast. You as a global technology leader has a different opinions on that, and I want to really read your thoughts and your hearts today. The first question is talking in general about technology. So we just came out of the COVID, okay? So Brian, from the global perspective, how does technology has played a role in elevating the hotel experience worldwide?
Yeah, so the implementation of technology is done through a number of different things. I mean, part of it is that we'll see, like an example, be the welcome seat. It's all about creating the guest experience, and when you open that door for the first time and the lights are raising up and the shades are opening and the temperature's already set, and maybe even the music's on. It's really about creating the experience and welcoming people back to travel and visiting hotels in other countries. And I think the other piece of the technology that you see is that the constant engagement that the hotel rooms have with the guest, whether that's through a bedside panel or on controls on the wall, where you can get your butler or a valet or adjust the lights or the shades or the music, that it's constant engagement with the customers. And that often frees up staff time in the hotels because they don't have somebody at the door every time taking care of it, and allows the hotels to redeploy their staff in more meaningful activities. Because I think that's the other trend that you see coming out of COVID, is that not just the hotel industry, but all industries are really struggling to get people in.
Correct.
So anytime we can minimize the non-value add, the better off we'll be.
Correct. So, Tim, again, from the technology point of view, how does Lutron brings technology into the hotel industry?
So we implement a guest room management solution, a product called My Room.
Correct.
Introduced in 2015, installed in over 300 hotels around the world, over 60,000 rooms. I think we've got about 15 My Room guest room hotels here in Japan. And we've recently introduced the next generation of this product we call My Room XC, which introduces some cloud connectivity to enhance the operational management of the property and improve the serviceability for integrators like yourself that need to be able to deliver a project on time and on budget.
Very good. So from technology, we came down to systems. Okay. So can you please give some examples of systems that have been implemented globally recently to enhance hospitality experience?
Yeah, and those are some of the things I was talking about before, is where the integration throughout the hotel room to allow the hotel to stay very, very connected with the guest, whether that's through the welcome experience or just the integration of all the other items throughout the hotel room. I mean, in a macro sense, that's what they're trying to do, is just surround the guest with the best possible experience.
So everyday integration is becoming more important.
Yes, without question. But the guest doesn't have to know that.
Correct.
This is about hiding the technology in the background and making sure that whatever the guest interfaces with, that it's very easy and very intuitive for them.
Correct. Hotel doesn't need to know that. Operation staff as well, right?
Yes, correct.
So it's all about improving efficiency, operation in the room. So how do you approach that?
So for staff efficiency, for example, we will often integrate with other IT systems in the hotel that are used to manage housekeeping, for example. So our system will know when the guest is physically present in the room.
Okay.
And whether they have requested privacy or requested service for the room. And we can communicate those pieces of information to software systems that are helping to properly deploy housekeeping for rooms that need to be serviced immediately, make sure that housekeeping is not bothering rooms where they've requested privacy, or even if they haven't requested privacy, but the guest is in the room, they typically try not to knock on the door and bother the guest. We wait until we know the room's unoccupied before allowing housekeeping to go in the room. So that type of integration helps to just, again, behind the scenes, create that great guest experience where they're not being bothered by staff when they're in their room, and it makes the staff more efficient and gives certain staff the ability to pay more attention to the guests on a personal level.
Correct. You mentioned earlier, guests don't know what the technology is there.
Correct.
The same for the hotel operating staff. So that means you take a human-centric approach when you design your product. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's no question about it. If I can just add one thing to what Tim said the last time, is we're talking all about the guest experience. But if you also look at it from the hotel side, the new systems, the new integration allow us to do remote monitoring and continuous updates to the system. So that we can push updates to our system just like it would push an update to your cell phone. So we get updates to the system. We can do constant monitoring of the system. We can do tweaks to the system and program changes with minimal or no disruption at all to the guests in the room. So that's technology keeping the room most up to date.
Very good. So specifically recently, what other features have you been adding to your system?
What new features
Yes.
we've been adding? So this latest generation of Majewski has really focused on the operational efficiency side.
Okay.
So that cloud-connected management dashboard, which actually is able to tie in not just the guest room portion.
How hotel does feel about cloud connectivity those days?
Well, I think you'll find that a lot of IT platforms and hotels are moving to cloud-hosted platforms to help eliminate the IT assets, data center servers, etc., that they need to manage, keep updated with security patches, operating system patches. So property management systems, even the door locking systems, etc., are all moving to cloud-hosted technologies to help, again, improve the operational efficiency of the hotel and simplify things for the operating team.
Let me break another topic. We have this global warming situation. So we have energy price rising. How do you approach energy efficiency into hotels? So what is the approach?
Well, certainly through the integration, you can use setbacks as guests are not in the rooms. You can do different types of lockouts on the thermostats when you have a room with a balcony and somebody flings the door open and then sets the AC down low. So you can adjust that, again, through automation without necessarily interfering with the guest. But when the room is unoccupied, you can save energy by reducing the lighting and the HVAC load in those rooms.
Is there some analytics, some technology behind that to do this kind of energy reduction within my room?
Certainly, the My Room platform is able to monitor and calculate the energy usage and energy savings so that we can do comparisons, especially if you're making tweaks to the hotel, like Brian mentioned, to be able to measure the energy savings. A lot of the hotel operators are very focused on ESG goals nowadays. They've set themselves aggressive goals for energy savings and sustainability, and we need to be a part of helping them deliver on that.
Okay, very good. One of the things that most impressed me about your organization is that I have been meeting some of your colleagues. I have been there for 10, 20 years, which gives me a good impression that there is a very healthy and human-centric culture within the company. Okay,
correct.
When you deploy your systems all over the world in different countries, different cultures, how do you maintain that human-centric approach to all those places?
No, it's a great question, and part of it being a global company, but acting local. And Lutron designs and develops My Room technology and other products as building blocks that then get assembled into solutions for individual hotels and individual guests. And to assemble that, it really comes down to a partnership between Lutron, our distribution partners, the specification community, and the hotel to design the appropriate solution for that hotel. That can be done only if you have a vast amount of experience, and more importantly, if you listen. I mean, we are very human-centric, that we listen to the customer. And so when you listen to the customer, you apply the expertise, you're going to design the solution that the customer wants.
Okay.
And as we've said a few times here, it's not about the technology. It's about the user interface and the experience that guest is going to have in making technology work for it.
Very good. Tim, as a technologist, I have seen plenty of technologies. You just mentioned listening is very important. And using your system it's very simple, it's easy, but keep it simple is really hard. What is the process to get to deploy and develop simple systems?
Oh my! It is very hard. We have a very dedicated team of industrial designers that's part of that process. Systems engineers, system designers. We do our best to try to live with the system ourselves in one way or another. And keep it simple. It just takes. There's a saying that our founder used to say every once in a while, which was, "Good enough is not good enough." All right. So we strive for excellence and not just that good enough level. It takes a lot of work. It means that we invest a lot of money back in research and development, and we take our time before we deploy something, making sure that we've done our homework. And he mentioned about listening. This is part of the reason we're here in Japan this week, is to do a lot of listening with customers.
Very good. Listening, continue developing, bringing new solutions to the market. Building industry itself is changing rapidly. Okay, so it's not anymore about the hotel room. Now you need to integrate into the total building solution. That's another part that needs to be looked after. It's Lutron working with the building system providers. So what is the process to develop the products?
I think, first of all, let's talk about the various stages, or the various parts, I should say, of the building. You've got things like the private residences, that may be the upper floors. Then you've got the hotel building. Then you might have some office space and then some retail down in the podium. And historically, we've had separate systems for each of those.
Okay.
You know, Quantum was one of our flagship systems. It went to Athena then for more of the public spaces and the office buildings. And then we've got a variety of residential solutions, which have been for the private residences. And we really had that void in hospitality for a while, which was then filled with My Room XC close to 10 years ago.
Yeah.
About 10 years ago. We're now putting those products all on the same platform so that we can integrate, do full integration throughout the building, give the owner one pane of glass to be able to look at the energy savings or any of the alerts in any parts of the building and pulling that all together. So yes, we're working through the building technology and then with the engineering firms to make sure that they see the value of Lutron from the private residences all the way through the retail point.
The luxury market is increasing more and more. The luxury residences. What is your presence now in that market?
In Japan or globally?
In Japan, let's say.
In Japan, that's more of a new area for us. We launched a product called Homeworks many years ago here.
Yes.
And it didn't go so well in Japan. And we actually stopped selling the product for quite a while.
Okay.
We're now getting more and more requests
Correct.
for luxury residents here. So we need to take a fresh look at the development and say, how are we going to be doing that within the Japanese market?
Okay. So from the five-star hotels to the resident markets, how an integrator can cross and use your platforms is going to be difficult. Are you integrating your platforms?
So, like Brian mentioned, over the last 3 to 4 years,
Yes.
all of these solutions from the public amenity spaces, guest rooms, private residences, have been going through a transformation on our end to bring them all onto a single development platform, so that for the integrators like yourself,
Yes.
it is it's a common set of products, set of design rules, programming procedures, servicing procedures, connecting them all to the same management dashboard, not just for the building engineers, but it also gives you remote service capabilities to all of these systems in the building, again, in order to improve your ability to take care of the customer.
We're trying to bring into the industry a new generation of building engineers. We want to get them enthusiastic about building systems. Do they need to become rocket scientists to deploy your systems?
Oh, absolutely not. No. We wouldn't be doing our job right if we needed to be a rocket scientist, right? We work very hard, not just at the user controls, but also those building engineering tools to make them very simple to learn, very basic, and typically layering information. So you can start with basic information and then drill deeper to triage an issue that you may have, or to get finer information and reporting information out of the system. So, yes, now it may be true that the building engineer that works with only his tool belt,
Correct.
may be slowly going away, and they need to be developing some more IT skills, computer skills, be more familiar with technology, because it's not just the Lutron systems that are adopting this technology in the building.
Correct.
All of the systems, mechanical systems, other electrical, infrastructure systems, etc., are certainly headed in the same direction.
If you can be proficient with an iPhone, you can be proficient with most of the tools.
That's a good
Yes. Great way to put it.
Technology is converging now with wellness. So we hear the wellness more and more often, especially in hospitality. How are you approaching this new intersection of technology and wellness science?
Yeah, I think there's a few different things there. I mean, one of them, wellness, is a lot of it's tied to the sunlight. And we see a big movement there. And in Japan, we need to do a better job of growing the shades business. Because Lutron controls all light sources. And you say that, most people think about the artificial light that's over your head. But they don't think about the single largest light source out there, which is the sun.
Correct.
So now through systems and controlling the shading on the windows, you can bring more light into the space. And then we also have light sensors, so you can adjust the light above the people that are by the windows and then deeper into the space. And in some of the other markets, we will also have products that will mimic the color of the daylight. We don't have that in Japan yet, but in some markets we have a product from our Ketra division where the light inside perfectly matches the light outside.
Beautiful solution. Yeah, I'd say.
It's wonderful. And so we're investing in technologies like that. And of course there's also the energy savings that goes along with that, which is more of the energy savings and not so much wellness. But we definitely tie all that together into the environmental, the social, the green aspects, and the wellness.
Okay. When we came to deploy projects, human work is getting expensive, right? Cabling cost is getting expensive. Lutron has been a pioneer into wireless solution to control the lights.
Yes.
How is that working those days?
Well, our wireless portfolio continues to grow, and you're right. It's not just useful for new or for retrofit or conversions, but it can bring a lot of savings on new construction as well. Bring simplicity, reduction in wire costs and wiring costs. It brings what I'll call familiarity to the contractor, because we have technology now that we can, for example, embed in light fixtures that make them install exactly like a non-smart light fixture. All I need to do is bring power to it, and we enable it with wireless communication through our technology embedded in the fixture.
Very good. And one final remark. So my room has been deploying across different hotels in Japan and will continue to happen. What will be the final message for all those hotel owners that are still thinking, shall I have my room or not on my building? What will be the words of one of the top developers of the solution?
Yeah, it's definitely all about the guest experience, but I'll bring a little bit of practicality to it as the hotel operator and owner. It's coming among your competitors. The top operators and brands are driving this elevated guest experience, and if you want to stay relevant, I believe in the luxury market. You're gonna need to keep up. This has been going on in hotel rooms forever, right? The marble countertops, the bathroom renovations, not just about the lighting technology, the extra fancy beds and pillows, right? They're always trying to one up each other, and so I think it's a matter of staying relevant in the marketplace.
Very good. Brian, final words for all the building owners, general contractors, architectural designers.
I think Tim just made a great point, is that this is a technology that's coming. Whether people like it or they don't like it, or they embrace it, they don't embrace it, it's a technology that's coming. I think the next question to ask is, so if I'm going to do it, why would I use Lutron? And Tim talked about the first principle of our company, taking care of the customer with superior goods and services. I guess what I would leave you with is Lutron's been built on three pillars over the 63-year history of our company: innovation, service, and quality. I mean, there's a reason why Tim and I have both been there for over 30 years, is we believe in the company that stands behind the products, is an innovator, is a leader in the industry, and will always stand behind every project with great service and quality.
Very good. Brian, Tim, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thanks for having us.
It's also a pleasure to meet you both. Thank you for continuing developing great products. So we really hope, and we really look forward to continue receiving your support. There is very important numbers of business partners, hotel users that are really enjoying to have your solution. Thank you once again, and hoping to see you next time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everyone. It's been a great pleasure to have these two top leaders in the industry, and we will continue having these discussions. Technology is changing, and at X1Studio, we are really trying to make things different. That's why we bring those leaders to share opinions with us. See you next time. Thank you.
Thanks.